Today is Mexico Day. We don't know if we're crossing the border this evening or if we're going to sleep outside the border and cross in the morning, but we are working our way down from San Francisco area to Mexicali. We're currently getting around LA, which seems like we've been doing for like 5 hours? I don't know. It hasn't been that long, but it feels like it. The traffic here, let me give you a good idea. If you've never been here, it's just constant, and it's actually moving pretty fast right now, which is surprising. It's only 2 o'clock and rush hour has officially started here. We have a few last minute things to do before we cross the border, like run to Walmart. We need to get Mexican auto insurance, which is just as easy as going online. And we have to get visas. They're not visas, they're tourist cards for $30 a piece once we cross the border. I remember doing it last time, but forgot about it until now. You can do it ahead of time, but we forgot. So, a couple last minute things before we cross over into Mexico.
I think Callie and I maybe found a place to park for tonight. Callie's a little bit apprehensive sometimes about sleeping in the van, and for good reason. Last year, at this time, we were traveling around Europe in a van, and we were sleeping in the van, and at about 2:30 a.m., someone smashed the window of the passenger side front door and grabbed one of our bags and took off with it. So Callie, like I said, for good reason, is a little bit apprehensive about where we park. And so right now, we're in this town called Imperial. It's only about 15 miles north of the Mexico border. And she was Googling around, and she's like, whoa, Imperial is the second safest city in California. So that made her feel pretty good. And driving through town, it actually looks like a pretty nice town. I said, well, we should just go to the airport and park out there. And, we can probably find a pretty slick spot to park. Well, the airport here is a little bit bigger than I thought. And they have it looks like probably a small commuter airline or something that flies in and out of here. But what I wasn't expecting is that I think all of the Border Patrol helicopters also fly in and out of here. And we were parked over there about a quarter of a mile, and we parked and got out, and we're like, this is a great spot. We're in with all these other people that have left their cars, and immediately 2 helicopters fly in, and they're literally like 200 feet from us, and they hot fuel, so they do not shut down. And I mean, like, you can feel the blast coming off the rotors where we're parked. I mean, we're pretty close to these. So I was like, well, this isn't gonna work very well. That's going to keep us up. So we thought, well, we'll try to park over here. And where we are now is, I think, as you can see on the sign behind me, it says Hertz parking only. We're inside of this fenced area, and I think it's all the rental car return. It's not a big airport, so there's not much going on, but you may not be able to see it. Behind me here, I think, is where they wash all the cars and detail them when people drop them off. And then right in front of me, now behind me, is the gate, and it's open. I don't know if it's going to get closed, but I told Kelly, well, if they close it, then you can feel really safe because we're locked in at that point. But I don't think they're going to lock it. I mean, it's 8:30 at night and it's still open. So I think this is where we may try to sleep, as long as these helicopters don't keep us up, because literally 2 more just flew in about 3 minutes ago. That would make 6 in like the last 40 minutes, and they sit there on the ground for like 20 minutes. So yeah, it could be interesting, but I feel safe.
We're just pulling out from the airport. It was a pretty decent night of sleep. I guess, I don't know, I don't think I slept that well. Did you?
Yeah, the helicopters eventually stopped at about 10:30. But what I found out is that I don't think that was Border Patrol. After about the 10th or 12th one came in, but what eventually came in with some helicopters were 2 V-22 Ospreys. And if you don't know what those are, look them up, because they're pretty freaking insane. They're basically airplanes that hover. And so 2 of those came in, and I was like, oh, this definitely is not Border Patrol. But, I mean, I don't know. I bet we had, from the time we got here and 2 hours or 2.5 hours, I bet there were like 16 or 20 helicopters and airplanes that landed and took off after fueling. It was kind of insane.
Yeah. Then it got super windy.
The van was rocking. It felt like we were driving down the interstate at 70.
But now it's not windy.
It's a beautiful day.
So we're heading south to the border crossing.
We have officially made it into Mexico. We're actually about 100 feet past the border, I guess. So Callie went in to get our tourist visas, or it's not really a visa, but it's a tourist documentation type card thing. The last time I saw her, she went into that building. Hopefully she comes back out. This is quite a different border crossing than the last one we did, which was on our motorcycles, and it was Tecate, and there wasn't anyone there. I mean, literally, we rode our motorcycles through a fence. No one came out, no one said anything, and all of a sudden we were in downtown, I don't know what, I guess it was downtown Tecate, and we were both really confused. We literally came across, stopped, and looked at each other, and we said, is that it? Like, no one checks us, no one checks our documents, nothing. And that was kind of the border crossing there. The border here at Mexicali is a little bit different. They actually had us pull over. They have a ton of people crossing here. I mean, we didn't see anyone else cross when we did it on our motorcycles in Tecate, and here it's been a steady stream of traffic going across. But yeah, just a lot different here, I suppose. They wanted the documents for Hank, which Callie, I think, was a little surprised by. We had them, luckily. We knew we needed them. But I think most people we talk to, they don't ever say that their dogs have ever been checked for any kind of documentation. So we had to take him to the vet and have him get a checkup, which he was all good on. And so, yeah. Now, hopefully, Callie will come out of that building, and we'll be on our way.
I just went and got our tourist visas, and I can assure you that we will be doing that online in the future, because you have to wander around these buildings barely speaking Spanish, and luckily my ride is still here. Hey, got him.
She made it back.
Oh my gosh. One thing about Mexico is that it's surprising every time. Last time we were surprised by it. It's again surprising, even though we knew to expect it. But there is so much trash just out in
everywhere.
Nothing, just everywhere.
We are in the desert right now, and it looks like
a dump.
I mean, it looks like we're driving through a dump right now. There is trash absolutely everywhere.
It's crazy.
And these poor people down here, I mean, they live, it's surprising. You cross the border, and literally 20 feet away from the U.S. border, these guys are living in tents and shanties. I mean, it's insane what they have to live in down here. It really makes you feel a heck of a lot luckier that you were born in the U.S., I guess, because down here, I mean, it is crazy coming down here and just seeing what some of these people live in.
We just made it through our first military checkpoint.
We passed.
It's always just a little nerve-wracking. But they just come in and look through all the cabinets, look through everything. I guess make sure you're not transporting drugs.
Smuggling something? I don't know. But they let us go.
We passed. We got through.
We probably only have 5 or 10 more of those. I don't even know. We don't know exactly when there was possibly a hurricane. I'm guessing either last year or the year before, but a lot of the road that we've been driving on today is having construction done on it. And so you're just driving and then all of a sudden you have to get off the road and go around the construction.
This has never been paved though.
Which is what we are currently doing. How far have we gone?
120 miles.
We've gone 120 miles in like 4 hours. We've been crawling. Today was a long day. We didn't make it too terribly far, only about 350 miles from the border. So we have about 600 more to go tomorrow. Hopefully the roads are in better condition. Today they were in poor condition. Spots that were paved, we were still only doing 10 or 15 miles an hour because the roads were in very rough shape with tons of potholes in them. So there's a lot of speed up and slow down. We're done though. Callie is making some tacos for dinner. We found a great place to park. We paid $10 and it's actually in the back of a restaurant. It's like a little tiny RV park. And so we felt nice and safe back here. We should get some good sleep. We're just outside of Guero Negro. We can see the lights about 2 miles down the road. We kind of had a fun, interesting experience with the last border crossing, or I guess it wasn't. It was crossing from the north part of Baja to the south part of Baja. And there's kind of like a little border crossing. But what they do is they ask you if you have any fruits and vegetables, and they spray your car with some kind of pesticide to kill any bugs. But what was funny is the guy said, yeah, it's $2 or 20 pesos to do it. All right, here's 20 pesos. That's like $1.10. And I go through, and I'm looking in the mirror because there are 2 cars still behind us. And both of those cars go through without even stopping. He just waves them through. And then they further down the road, they ended up passing me. And they were both clearly from Baja. I think he maybe took advantage of the gringos in that situation and got $1 of ours. However, I'm okay with that because I think he could definitely use that dollar more than Callie and I. Just something to remember if you're coming through. I don't think they actually charge to do that. We're going to eat dinner, head to bed, and pick it up again tomorrow.